Hey guys, Gizmo Joe here. Just coming back with a video about the GameSir controller. Just quickly, I decided not to do an unboxing on this one because the box itself is pretty plain. There's nothing really in there except for the controller, the little dongle, and a couple USB cables, and a pretty bare bones instruction manual. So GameSir, you can get these controllers on GearBest and Geek Buying and all those. I think I bought this one on geekbuying.com. I'll leave a link down in the description below. But I wanted something that could work on Android, Windows, and the bonus on this one is that it works with a PlayStation 3 as well. But the big thing for me was that I needed to have the dual analog sticks. I wanted something with a pretty decent build quality, and I wanted something with a built-in battery, so I didn't have to swap out AA's or AAA's or whatever. This guy seemed to tick all the boxes for me, so I decided to give it a shot. I think it was only cost about $20–25. There's a wide variety of GameSir controllers out there. You can get ones with Bluetooth. You can get ones that just work on 2.4 gigahertz wireless, which is what this guy is. You know, they run the gamut, but they're pretty much all kind of dual analog stick, kind of like a PS3 style. Just first things first, the build quality of this is excellent. It feels really good in the hand. It's very ergonomic. The buttons feel good. Just the build quality in general is very, very good. As I mentioned before, it's got a built-in battery, so you just charge it via micro USB cable, which they do supply in the box, and you'll be good to go. So this guy is, again, a 2.4 gigahertz wireless controller. You just plug this into your device, and it's supposed to just work straight off the bat. Now, here's where I had some difficulty. I tested it with a PlayStation 3 console. Works fine. Works perfectly. The sticks here, it's not that they're laggy, it's just that they feel a bit different to a regular DualShock controller for the PlayStation. So for instance, I was playing a bit of Call of Duty and I found that I wasn't as good as I tend to normally be, primarily because the controller felt a bit weird. But maybe that's just me. I don't know, maybe you won't have any issues, but definitely was okay there. Plugged it straight into the console, worked no problem. Now, I also tried this on a Windows 10 PC, which I will show you in just a minute, demonstrate with a game called Super Meatboy. If you're not familiar with it, it is a game that is very punishing and needs to have super accurate controls. So I'll show you how that one works in just a minute. So no problems with the Windows machine. However, with Android, this guy is supposed to work with Android. However, I could not for the life of me get it to work with Android. I've tried my phone, which has OTG. I've tried a couple different Android boxes. I tried my AlphaWise 95X. I tried my R box. And I even tried my little the little Android stick that I bring with me when I travel to plug into hotel TVs and whatnot. None of them worked. I tried to contact the manufacturer. I tried looking around on forums and stuff. I couldn't find anything that said how to get it to work. They just basically said that it's supposed to work. You can even see in the instruction manual here they do claim that it works on Android. I couldn't get it to work. So a bit of a disappointment for me because, again, I wanted to use this to essentially run my PSP emulator, which I have on my Android box that's hooked up to my TV. Couldn't get it to work, so it looks like I'm going to have to go back to a Bluetooth controller. But like I said, these guys, build quality is excellent. So disappointed that it didn't work with Android, but on the PlayStation 3 and the Windows machine, works fine. Build quality is fantastic. So like I said, how this works, you plug this little dongle into your device, then you flick it over and you turn it on. Okay? So when you turn it on, you'll notice that the lights come on. This is a really cool feature. I like this at night. It's really easy to see. And again, very, very functional. It's awesome. Very, very good. build quality is fantastic. So you can see these lights down at the bottom, they'll flash. So basically it's looking to pair with this right now. Obviously it's not plugged into anything, so it's freaking out a bit, saying I can't figure out what you want me to use me for. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that too much at the moment. So again, it is like a PlayStation 3 DualShock controller, so it's got your shoulder buttons, your L1, L2, R1, R2. It's got your A, B, X, Y configuration, your directional pad, and your analog sticks. It also has a turbo button, so essentially you hit that and you can map one of the buttons that you want to be turbo. So if you have a game where you gotta constantly hit that, you can just hold it down. It's a heck of a lot easier. You can see that clear button there. That essentially clears all your turbo programming. So you can just clear that. And then you have a select button and a start button. So it's all pretty straightforward. And yeah, build quality is really good. So without further ado, let me move my little mug here and everything else. And I will bring up the Windows machine. Now this computer is a laptop that's quite a few years old now. So it is going to be running Windows 10, and I'm going to fire up Super Meatboy. So let me take my little dongle and I will plug it into the side here. Okay, and let me angle this up a little bit further so you can see. And we'll fire up Super Meatboy. Remember, flick over the controller. You want to turn that controller on. Oh, no, it's not turning on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. All right, so we got Team Meat. Here we go. This is a great game. If you haven't, if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend. It's super fun. Anybody who likes platformers, especially ones that are super difficult, this game is awesome. Came out a number of years ago, so if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure you can pick it up really cheap. I think I picked it up on a Humble Bundle. Cost me virtually nothing. Anyway, we'll skip all this intro stuff. So as you can see, the start button works really well. Again, the D-pad works really well. So if we start, we'll just hit A. Everything works really, really well. Got a little cinematic there. Click through. And we'll just start off on level 1. So as you can see, Super Meatboy is a platformer that requires like precision controls. So if you have a controller that isn't very responsive or whatever, then you're going to be in trouble. As you can see, I have no issues controlling Meatboy here. It works really well. I'm doing fairly well. Now, to be honest, this is really early in the game, so it's not particularly difficult. But as you can see, the controller works really well. I'm having a pretty good time of it. Really easy. Anyway, I won't waste any more of your time, but that's the GameSir G3f controller. Again, could not get it to work on Android, but definitely works on a PlayStation 3 console, and definitely works on a Windows 10 PC. If it works on Windows 10, I would imagine it wouldn't have any issues with Windows 8 or Windows 7. That's going to do it for today. If you think you'd like that game, it's called Super Meatboy. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can purchase it. I highly recommend. And I will also leave a link to buy this particular controller. I think if you don't need it for Android and you're just looking for something that will control your Windows PC or maybe even a replacement PlayStation 3 controller, you can't really go wrong with this guy. Build quality's really nice. And overall, fairly impressed, even though it's a bit disappointing that I couldn't get it to work with Android. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks. Like and subscribe this video. Share it on social media. Whatever. It really helped me out. Anyway, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.